533 justifies terrorism. Politicians and journalists ignore it and go to 532. They do a bit of editing, and there you have it. Islam is a religion of peace.
You're welcome back, beloved. May God richly bless you. I greet you, and I actually am going to react on a video that actually was held by David Wood, and is helping us with stuffs about what actually the journalists in the West or the politicians in the West does in America whenever they are actually trying to let people understand that Islam is a very nice religion and doesn't tolerate or doesn't endorse terrorism or something like that. Well, David Wood actually helped us in the first section, and this should be deemed as the second section. We're taking a quick break, and after that we're going to watch the latter part of the first section. You're welcome back, beloved. Quickly, shall we go to the latter part of the first section?
This is how Surah 5, verse 32 is usually quoted to us by politicians and journalists. Sometimes they include a bit more, but let's see what politicians and journalists leave out. Because of that, we ordained for the children of Israel that if anyone killed a person not in retaliation of murder or to spread mischief in the land, it would be as if he killed all mankind. And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of all mankind. And indeed, there came to them our messengers with clear proofs, evidences, and signs. Even then, after that, many of them continued to exceed the limits, e.g. by doing oppression unjustly and exceeding beyond the limits set by Allah by committing the major sins in the land.
Well, David Wood actually read to our hearing Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 32. The politicians and the journalists just read Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 32 out of context. How we get to him, they just, even sometimes they just say, they just gives a paraphrase without actually showing the reference or showing the bibliography and the footnote where actually it's going to be found in the Quran, because they know for sure that people are going to read, and surely they're going to get to know that they were lying or something like that. Well, David Wood, what next do you have for us?
Sometimes they include a bit more, but let's see what politicians and journalists leave out.
Okay, so he says sometimes they include the more, but let's see what politicians and journalists know how. Okay, what next?
Because of that, we ordained for the children of Israel that if anyone killed a person not in retaliation of murder or to spread mischief in the land, it would be as if he killed all mankind. And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of all mankind. And indeed, there came to them our messengers with clear proofs, evidences, and signs. Even then, after that, many of them continued to exceed the limits, e.g. by doing oppression unjustly and exceeding beyond the limits set by Allah by committing the major sins in the land.
Okay. So David Wood actually read also again Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 32. Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 32. And you heard these words over there. Kill one is like you killing all. Kill one is like kill all, or save one is like save all. So if you kill one, according to Islam, it's just like you've killed all. To kill, to save one is just like you've saved all. What does this mean? I think it's baffling my mind. What do you mean, David Wood?
Notice 4 things about this verse.
Okay. What are the 4 things?
1. The Quran says that this was a revelation for Jews, the children of Israel.
Okay, that is one. The Quran says that this was a revelation for Jews, that is the children of Israel. Okay. Explain.
And we know what the Quran is referring to here.
Yes, we really know what the Quran is referring to here. What next?
This is a quotation from a Jewish rabbi in the Talmud.
Oh, okay. My first time hearing of this. It's a quotation from a Jewish rabbi in the Talmud. Oh, okay, that's very nice. What next?
The Quran says that Allah ordained this for the children of Israel.
Oh, really? So Allah is saying that the Quran is saying that Allah ordained this, or ordained this Jewish rabbi for the children of Israel. Is that what you're saying? Allah ordained this. This. Are you talking about this as book or him? Okay, maybe I didn't hear you well. So the Quran is saying that Allah ordained this for the children of Israel. Okay, that's the passage perhaps he read. I stand to be corrected. What next, David Wood?
Politicians and journalists omit the part about the children of Israel.
Oh, okay. This, okay, and I'll get you clear. I now ostensibly get you. Okay, so this is the portion politicians and journalists omit. Okay, so they omit the parts about the children of Israel. Why do they do that, David Wood?
So that they can pretend that Islam calls for endless peace and tolerance.
Oh, okay, they do that so that they can pretend that Islam calls for endless peace and tolerance. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, the verse actually isn't talking about Islam as being, peaceful and tolerable. I get you, but rather it's talking about the Jews or the Israelites. Okay, so they omit the names, the term Israelites over there, just to let you know that it's talking about Islam. Meanwhile, it isn't talking about Islam as being peaceful and as being tolerable. Wow. Meaning they know for sure that Islam isn't peaceful and Islam isn't tolerable. That's the reason they have to omit some names just to chip in Islam, so as to let you know that Islam is peaceful or tolerable. That is in disguise, though they feign what actually is written over there in Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 32. I get you, David Wood. What next?
The very next verse, Surah 5, verse 33, is a revelation for Muslims, and it commands Muslims to dismember and kill and crucify all kinds of people.
Okay, I was waiting for that very next verse. That is verse 33, Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah 33. Okay.
533 justifies terrorism. Politicians and journalists ignore it and go to 532. They do a bit of editing, and there you have it. Islam is a religion of peace.
Oh, okay. So that verse actually tells Muslims to oust unbelievers. You shouldn't ever tolerate unbelievers. Okay, so it's a revelation for Muslims, and they command Muslims to dismember and kill and crucify all kinds of people. Wow, you see, this is telling you that the politicians and the journalists are telling you lies in the West. Wheresoever you are, Islam doesn't tolerate. Islam doesn't tolerate other religions or something like that. No. Islam doesn't propagate anything peaceful. Well, if they are less in the community, if they are less in the country, if they are less in the vicinity, surely they act fancy, they are very peaceful. They are very much tolerable, but that isn't the case. The religion, the Quran itself, doesn't tell any Muslim to tolerate Christians. You cannot even take a Christian as a friend. That is a haram. Okay, that is haram. You should pretend as if you are tolerable. You should pretend as if you are at peace with these other faiths or something like that. But the time you get hold of power, make sure to show them pepper. That's exactly what the Quran teaches the Muslim to do. Oh, very nice, David Wood. We thank you for revealing these stuff to us. What next? Your last part, and we conclude. Okay, so according to David Wood, Surah Ma'idah, ayah 33 justifies text politicians and journalists ignores and go to 5 verse 32. They edit it and they edit it and tell you that Islam is a religion of peace. Well, this explains it. David Wood actually has helped us with the what the omission of these politicians and journalists in the West. Okay, what Muslims sometimes that's when they want to protect Islamic orthodoxy or when they want to save the face of Islam. Now we get to me, and they cite verses and all that, and where they think if they chip in or they that's their additions and all that will help them. Surely they try to omit Israel and they chip in Islam so as to make or modify Islam to be a religion of peace or tolerance or something like that. Meanwhile, it isn't true. So the Bidud actually has educated us on that idea, and surely he's directed us to where actually the Quran talks of Islam and what Islam or what a Muslim is supposed to do. In Surah Al-Ma'idah, Ayah 33, the Quran tells you to dismember all people, okay, all people if they do not want to submit to Allah, if they do not want to become Muslims. Well, thank you. You've gotten to know the real face, the actual tricks of the journalists, Islamic journalists, and politicians. That's how we get to him. News anchors sometimes tries to cover the face of Islam by telling us these people, most especially what Hamas does, Al Shabaab, Al Qaeda, Taliban, and Boko Haram and Co. does, the deeds of extremists. Okay, those that are drained or sneaked into Islam or something like that. But you know for sure that if you go into the Islamic books and most especially the Quran itself, you get to know that what they are doing are the epitome of what their Prophet Muhammad did. As surely Muhammad actually would do what they are doing today. So the suicide bombings, the subway bombings are actually what actually has been propagated by their own book and also their own prophet. Hope you get through me. Well, we call it a day. We ended it up here. Make sure to reason up with us, and surely if you're a Muslim, make sure to reason with us over here. I think about what actually you're getting over here, and surely you're going to help yourself by saying goodbye to the religion, because you need salvation, and surely salvation is in Christianity. You know, Islam. In Islam, you operate on ambiguity, you operate on equivocation, you operate on what is called meritorious law system. You don't know of whether or not you're going to be saved or not, and surely even Allah I will tell you, oh, I don't want you here in Jannah, so I would love for you to be in hell, because Allah has already decreed whatever you are to do, and that's nothing you do will surprise him. That isn't so in Christianity. Well, help us with your subscriptions and your likes and also your shares. Drop your comments as well. Shout outs to everybody. Uncle Sam of Toronto, Canada, Mama Esther, that is Samia Samoa, Mr. Daniel Dan Kwashin Shen, and Mr. Williams, pastor of Palermo of Christ, Italy, Mr. COD, Mr. Peter, Mr. Obed, Brother Richmond, may God richly bless you all. Brother Ken L. Biney of Maryland, Church of Christ, may God richly bless you, Dad, and also Brother Peter Polly, Grace Afuwade, Adon Fashion, may God bless you. Shall we meet up here once again some other time? Bye-bye.
Hi.